Welcome to today's history lesson. I could talk forever about the political persecution of former Alabama Governor Don Siegelman, but since MAGA right now is all up in their feels about partisan activist judges, then let's talk about one of those. This is Mark Everett Fuller. Fuller was a district attorney in Alabama who was heavily involved in the Republican Party, and he was awarded a federal judgeship in 2002 when Don Siegelman was still governor. And when this happens, the governor's office always does like a little background check just to make sure that the candidate doesn't have anything that would hold back his confirmation. And they found that when he was district attorney, he almost doubled the salary of one of his employees a year before his retirement to help with his pension, which is nice, but unethical. And he was still confirmed anyway, but he was pissed at Don Siegelman. Now, a few years after the 2002 election was stolen from Don Siegelman, charges were brought up against him for something in federal court, and the federal judge dismissed those charges with prejudice. Now, a few years after that, more charges were brought up against him, and this time they sought to move districts, which just screams of shopping for a judge. And guess whose district they decided on? Mark Everett Fuller, who had told someone that he wanted to hang Don Siegelman. Now, any other judge with that conflict of interest would recuse themselves from the case, but not Mark Everett Fuller. He was prejudiced from day one. There was jury tampering, and he allowed the prosecution to do things over and over that he would not allow the defense to do at all. And surprise, surprise, Don Siegelman was convicted. He got to hang Don Siegelman. And usually when convictions like this happen, the defendant is allowed to go home and report to jail. Nope, Mark Everett Fuller had Don Siegelman handcuffed and shackled and led to prison right when the conviction was announced. Wait, that's not all. Mark Everett Fuller owned an aviation company, Doss Aviation. And the Everett part of Mark Everett Fuller's name comes from a family friend, Terry Everett, who was a U.S. congressman who was on the military board, something that dealt with military budgets. And right after Don Siegelman was convicted, Doss Aviation got a military contract for $176 million. In 2014, Mark Everett Fuller was charged with beating his wife. She called 911 while he was beating her. You can listen to the call. It is horrible. He eventually resigned, but he didn't go to prison because he accepted a plea deal to go to counseling. Thank you for joining me. Hallelujah and roll tide.